Hello and welcome to Fench Property Renovations, and yeah, one of my cats, and different point altogether. We've got a hot water cylinder here that I've bought from Le Bon Coin, which is similar to eBay. It's supposed to be 3 years old, paid €50 for it, bit of a negotiation. But it's a 200 litre hot water cylinder and they're heavy to start with, but it's still got water in it. And as you'll be aware from my previous videos, I sold my plumber's van, my Mercedes Sprinter van, and I swapped it for this RAV4. So it's doubled up as a van today, so obviously we're getting our usage out of it. But I'm on my own. How do we get this big thing? And it's not like a set of weights where we can, lift it up. It's an awkward thing. So what I've got is one little truck. You can make these even. You can buy the wheels. You can get some wood. You can make them yourself. I've had this for years. It's come in handy a lot of times. I've got a metal one as well, but this one's a bit more sturdy because the back wheels are fixed and the front will go left and right, so you can kind of steer it. So what we're going to do, because it's a cylinder, it's like a torpedo, and torpedoes either go frontwards or backwards. In France, the hot water cylinders are generally bolted to the wall and they're not sat on the floor like in England. The old traditional copper cylinder would be sat on the floor, or you'd build a stillage and then lift it off the floor. Going back in time, a long time ago, we'd have had the header tank even higher to give us a head of pressure, which would mean we'd have a good flow rate at our hot water tap. But here in France, the cold water mains coming in at, I think, at the front of my house at 5 bar pressure, which is probably double what you'd have in Greater Manchester, just as an idea. So you don't really need power showers. Anyway, I don't want to damage my car, so if you've noticed, I put a curtain in there, and because it's a cylinder, it's got on the top end, well actually it's the bottom, but it's in the other end of my van, my car. I'm going to try and slide it out, and I've got a really old quilt here that the dog slept on. The cat's clawed. It's fit for the bin really, but I'm going to try to slide that out and onto the truck, just to demonstrate that you don't need to have muscles popping out your arms to do these things. So here's my quilt. As I said, it's definitely worse for wear. I don't like to throw things away when they'll come in handy. So that now is going to be my truck. Now it does help sometimes to have somebody with you to guide these things out, and obviously to make sure that the bits of the quilt aren't catching on the floor and stuff. But we'll see. I don't want to damage my car if I can avoid it, but you never know with these things. So here are the two fixing points. Let's see if I can bring you a bit closer so you can see exactly what's going on. Right, hopefully you can see. So these are the fixing points where you'd put bolts in the wall and you'd hang it. So this would technically be the top, but the problem is the drape, the in and the out at the other end are more in the middle. So what happens is you get a level of water that stays in the cylinder, unless you can give it a good shake around to get the water out. So it's still got water in, which makes it heavier still. But ultimately, the idea now, with a bit of guidance and a bit of luck, I'm gonna slide it out. So if we can cantilever it with some delicacy. Did you hear the water then? Let me see if I can do that again. I don't know if you can hear that, but it has got water in it. So we're on the truck, and if I can give it a little slide towards you, we might be able to get the thing out. Well, we're out, but we're not evenly on the truck. So if I just lower that down. Do you want to hold that for me, Trev? So if I bring a bit more curtain down, it might stop it rolling. Voila, as the French would say. So it's kind of stopped rolling. Let's move the camera back. I think Trev's chasing rabbits or hares. So as you can see, we're in quite a precarious situation there. So we're not on. We've just got the front on, but that's allowed us to slide it out. And I shall see. There we go. It's not going the same way as the truck though, but it's out of the car safe. Here goes the heavy lifting bit. I'm going to see now if I can physically lift it into the middle, but because it's out of the car, I've got these two bars that I can potentially lift. Don't do this at home, it's not good for your back. So there we go, one torpedo out of the car. So if I move the camera around, you can now see this bolts onto the wall, electrical supply, and they're obviously marked up here with blue and red, and that's us, electrical bits in there, and it hangs on the wall, and this is the bottom. So at the top, basically this is like a pressure vessel. So at the top there's like a diaphragm which will take up the expansion and the contraction within the hot water cylinder. So it's a 200 litre cylinder, this one. So you're probably talking the volume of water comes to about here. So probably about 80% of the length, and then you've got the top bit which is your pressure vessel, and it should rise and fall like a little diaphragm. And that's pretty much how these work, with elements inside. Obviously in the middle here, goes up the centre, and that's what's drawing us our hot water. But one point to mention here, obviously we've got these two connections on the bottom, but if I can show you, obviously the cold will go in at the bottom, but the hot water draw off will probably be up at the top where the water will actually be hot. So it'll be like a short rod here and a longer rod there. So as the water heats up and rises up the cylinder, the hot water can obviously come out. So I'm going to put this in the kitchen, and this will be the first bit of hot water we'll have in the house for a long time. I don't think they've ever had hot water in the house, because there's literally no sign of any water pipes apart from the one that comes in and does one tap. So, well, yeah, I'm going to have a cylinder. So that's a job for another day. But that was just to demonstrate how we can use other items of kit, should we call them, to alleviate us doing all the heavy lifting. I'm going to just put it in my lounge for now. It's how I live. Everyone has a cylinder in the lounge, don't they, until they get round to fitting it. Because while the weather's still good, I'm going to carry on pointing. I'm going to start pointing the back this week. So that's a rainy day job, and more work for moi. Anyway, subscribe if you're enjoying what I'm doing here, and let's see if we can get some more bargains. I've got some shutters, so they might be on the to-do list. Take care.